So get comfy in your seats. Gently close your eyes, and let's, as a community, rest in silence for a few minutes. Just follow that breath as it enters your body, which is your temple, which God dwells in. For that God is dwelling within each one of us right here, right now, unconditionally. Let's take a few moments to just breathe in and meditate together, resting in the love of God. And we just bring our attention back into our bodies, back into this room. And we are thankful to listen. We are thankful for love, and we are thankful for peace as we, as a community, bathe in the silence and are recharged in it. With gratitude and appreciation, we simply say, so it is. Amen. How's everyone doing?
Great.
I was thinking about this week. I was contemplating the idea of what people consider success. Because success is a comparison. Whether you're comparing it to where you were or where you want to be. But for me, success is waking up in the morning. We go to bed at night and we have no idea we're going to wake up. And we forget that that's a successful start of our day. Thank you for waking me up. Right? Thank you for this breath. Thank you for my limbs. Thank you for my body. Thank you for this beautiful temple, these organs within me that play music, that need to be nourished and fueled with the right fuels. Thank you for a body that is made up of water, the same amount of water in comparison to the planet Earth. Thank you for my connection to God. And I bring that up because this year marks 10 years of me speaking around the globe. And that path started for me when I died. Most of you know that I died and I came back. And I died for 10 minutes and I was brought back to life. And at that moment, I was not where I am, where you see me now. I was filled with lots of anxiety, lots of worry. I don't know if any of you are filled that way at all. Very concerned about success, very concerned about where my life was going to take me, working hard, and all that good stuff. And then I choked on a piece of chicken, a chicken bone. It got lodged in my throat. And my then girlfriend at the time couldn't give me the Heimlich. All I heard her say was, I'm not strong enough. And the last thing I said to myself was, I'm ready to go. And I was in this vast space. It felt like a mother's womb. It was infinite peace, very loving, very nurturing. I had no body, I had no history. I had no anything related to this plane. It was just loving, very loving. And when I came back, I felt as the chicken bone came up, I entered my body this way, and then I spread out all over, and I was back in this body, and I was in this man's arms who had given me the Heimlich. And there was a grandma there, and I'll never forget it, she was crying her eyes out, and she walked over to me, and she said, my God, we lost you. And I turned to the guy that saved me, and thanked him, and the fire department was there, and they checked my throat. And I went to thank him again, and no joke, he was in a dead sprint, running that way, around a building. And all I thought about was, oh great, that's my guardian angel going, oh boy. Right? David choked on chicken. We got to save him now. Morph into a human, right? And then save his life. But that event led me to where I am now. I was an actor. I did a lot of film and TV and commercials. That was what I was doing at the time. And I was so filled with this kind of infinite peace for weeks that I had lost the appetite, the desire for success, the desire for ambition, the desire for more money, or all this stuff. It all just left. Because what mattered at that moment was where I was. And since I was no longer in fear of the future, and I knew that on the other side it's filled with peace and love, that when I came back here, all was well. And I wanted a time to share that with people. But it scared me sharing a near-death experience with people because a lot of people either don't want to hear it, they don't understand it, they don't want to believe it, because they have their own views about God. And so a lot of people are waiting to get to heaven, not realizing that we're in heaven. This is part of your journey. This is part of our learning in school. That we never stop learning, that we're complete aliveness. And so that path took me to Agape International Spiritual Center, where I became a practitioner. And then right when I got out of school, the Unity of Burbank called me up to be one of their speakers. So I was there for 6 years, and I came here, and I was speaking here for 4 years with Burbank. And then I went and I started speaking everywhere. I've been in New Zealand, I've been all over Canada, all over America, speaking the message of Roar, which is mindfulness. But something occurred to me while I was just sitting here listening to this service, which is amazing that the talk today, my talk is on balance, and then what was read was on balance. So it's synchronistic. What occurred to me was, maybe it's not so much mindfulness, because we're all in our minds. Everybody's moving around in their minds. Maybe it's Godfulness. What if you had a Godfulness life? That you were just, know that God was with you. That you were just filled with that presence everywhere you went. Because one of the things that I've observed, in particularly this week, working with different groups, I've been working with doctors and nurses for a hospital, helping them with mindfulness and breathing so they can take care of themselves, so they can have self-care, because a lot of nurses are burned out. And what I've observed is when we meet someone, when we ask questions, we always seem to be asking from a place that we're missing something, that something is lacking. We meet people, we see them, and we think they're lacking something. Or think we need to fix or change or confront or all this stuff. But in a place of Godfulness, in a place of balance, we're no longer concerned about changing somebody. Because we have full authority over our own lives. We have full dominion over who we are. And so then we start to realize that really the choices that we make are really powerful. I have a choice to be here with you or not be here with you. It's that simple. Meaning that when we're engaged in a conversation. And when we come from that Godfulness place, it's what Jesus walked. Jesus wasn't writing self-help books. Jesus wasn't saying 3 steps to get to God, right? 10 steps to get to God. That's how I did it. No, he just walked it. And he talked from that place. And all he said was, look, as we learned in the gospel today, turn to God. Turn all your attention to Godfulness. That you are loved right where you are. It doesn't matter the mistakes you think you made or the mistakes you didn't make already that you think you're going to make. It doesn't matter if you're right and someone's wrong or you're making someone wrong so you could be right. None of that matters. There is something that is loving you through it all no matter what. No matter how much you judge another life, no matter how much you judge somebody, those energetics go away once you are in balance. And what is balance when we are walking the walk? A lot of people, when they want something, hold on to it. We'll keep it simple, right? Let's say somebody wants more money. So they hold on this idea that they want more money. They hold on to it. In a state of balance, the idea comes and then you let it go. You let it all go. I was just reading, it was funny, I was just reading something right here that said that at, I guess, different support groups, they say, let go, let God. It's the same idea for all of us. We're not here to hold on to anything, but we're holding on to everything. When you talk to people, they're holding on to what somebody did to them years ago, what someone did to them months ago. They're still concerned about what someone said to them in kindergarten or high school or college, and they're concerned about who they're going to meet and how it's going to look, and they're concerned about the job that they're at, and why aren't people acting a certain way so they can be happy, right? A lot of people want you to be positive because that makes them happy. They don't want to be around negative, but when you look at your life in balance as a pendulum, if you're positive, it's going to balance out to negative. So it's not about positive and negative. It's simply about being with what is going on right now and allowing it to unfold in your life and not hold on to it so much. Does it mean that you don't get angry? No, you get angry or upset. But you don't create a story around it and hold it for the rest of your life. It's there to teach you something. When we get charged up by someone, it's here to teach us something. Sometimes when we get charged up by someone, it's reminding us to stand up and speak. Right? We are called from a place of Godfulness to speak against things that are not just, that are not equal. And sometimes that can be difficult for us because our bodies start to quiver or we start to think about, uh-oh. But when we look at the life of Jesus, Jesus was a revolutionary who we've been following now for 2,000 years, and we keep propagating wars that don't work. At some time, we're all going to have to stop as a collective global community and be with it. Be with why we don't like each other, or why we don't like different groups, or why there's tribalism, or why there's all these things going on that have nothing to do with anything other than an imbalance in our society. When we are in balance, we are in love. And we begin to stand for things, not against things. Right? When you stand for love, there's a different energetic that happens for you. When you stand for peace and compassion, and you stand for empathy, and you stand for joy, or you stand for liberty, or you stand for justice. These are all qualities that Jesus naturally did. He didn't have a lot of people that were standing with him, if you notice. Right? He probably started off with 100 people following him, then it went down to 12, and then it went down to really nobody at the last stand. And why is that? Because at some point we hope that our spiritual communities, our religious communities, our group mentality, at some point They usher us out into the world so that we're independent. The reason why you're here is not to hold on. The reason why you're here is to be independent and to come forward and say, wow, I was drawn to unity and they raised me up and now I'm bringing it out into the world every day. I'm living a God-fullness life. I'm living a God-centered life. And one of the ways that we can gain balance in our life is simply by breathing. By following your breath into the body and out of the body. It's teaching us in that moment two things, life and death. Your life is a battle until you become comfortable with it of life and death. We know that because when you breathe in, you have life, and when you breathe out, you exhale. So you inhale life, which inspiration means in spirit, in breath. When you're in the breath of life, you're inspired. And then it releases all the things that don't serve you anymore. The same is true with death. It brings it in and releases it, and we don't know if it's going to come back again, that breath. So when we are God-fullness creatures walking on this planet, we really begin to see the importance of our breath, our organs, our body temple, our partners, our life. We really begin to start to take an appreciation for things. Years ago, when my Grandma Brown was dying, we were very close. We talked maybe once or twice a week. She was a very big support system for me. It was a huge loss in my life. Huge loss. A month before she passed away, I talked to her on the phone, and she would call me doll. So she would say, I love you, doll. And I said, Grandma, I appreciate you. She was like, oh, doll. I appreciate you too. And she went to the hair salon and told all of her girlfriends that her grandson appreciated her. So my uncle, her son, was like, well, Dave, you did it. She's telling everybody that you appreciate her. That's really cool, man. It's really cool, right? And I shared that story at her funeral. And people wrote to my family letters that said, I appreciate you. And people went home and told their family and their kids that they appreciated them. When was the last time you just appreciated your partner rather than trying to fix them? When was the last time you just appreciated your kids without trying to control their lives and wanting to go do something that they don't want to do, but you want them to do because you want them to live your dreams? Right? When was the last time you just appreciated your pets or your animals? Because they seem to carry no judgment, right? They walk up, they're just happy. Let's go for a walk, man. So in a place of balance, no matter where you are in your life, there's a wonderful idea an author I just read, Susan Shumsky, talks about. Are you an overthinker? Are you an overthinker? Don't look at his thinking, look at his thinking. What are you thinking as you're thinking? Because every time you're thinking something. So what are you thinking in your life? In balance, it's natural. When you're balanced in your life, appreciation is endless and it's easy to see because you don't need anything anymore. There seems to be an ongoing energetic in like self-help and different spiritual centers that if I am thankful for what I have, I'm going to have more of that. But if the intention is that, you're not going to have more of that because you're not really thankful. You're trying to manipulate a spiritual law to get what you want. And that's not how it works. So in balance, we give up any type of manipulation. We give up any type of like ill will. We give up any type of harm. We give up any type of shame or guilt. We give up any type of gossip or judgment. Because we're balanced and that doesn't serve us anymore. And the Holy Spirit is the holy breath. It's the breath that is breathing. And when I work with people, I remind them that there are people on this planet, and I don't know if any of you are one of these people, you could check in with yourself and be aware of it, that stop their breath 90 times a day. And you know that you're stopping your breath every time you think your breath stops, because it means you're not in the moment. That's how you know you're not present. Your breath stops. But if you're here, your breath just flows. But when you think of something that has nothing to do with right now, the beauty of Godfulness and the beauty of your angels and guides and everything around you, the beauty of nature is it's always telling you, just like the gospel, don't worry. You worry because you don't really know that God is here. You have anxiety because you don't know that God is real. You have fear, judgments, and gossip because you think that you're the only one here and you're not connected to everything. And you forgot how beautiful you are. You forgot your inner beauty. You forgot that when you were born, two people or one person looked at you in a doctor's room, right? And was like, oh my God. And they had no words because they were overwhelmed with love. That's love. It's just so overwhelming that you have nothing else to say. You're just so overwhelmed. It's like when you look at a rose and it's so beautiful, but the rose doesn't look back at you and go, well, I'm going to withhold my scent from you. I know what you've done in your life, and I'm not going to give you this scent. Nature is teaching you that you are loved everywhere you go without judgment. Just look at the trees. Sit under a tree, it embraces you. Hug a tree if you want. Sit with your garden or flowers or plants. Sit with an animal. But it's all reminders, that's all, that that's who you are, that you're loved, that you're peace, that you're harmless, that you come in peace, that you're not here to harm people. That was never your intention. And as you grow in that purposeful Godfulness, other people see it and they want to know what's going on. And they always compliment your hair, and I don't know why. You change your hair? No? You sure? Something's different about you. What happened? I don't know. Right? So I'm going to bring this up to this last little bit to you because I feel like it's a really fun, beautiful kid-like thing. My daughter's 10. She loves soccer. Take her to a game after this. Bless her ankle. It's her first time back from a bum ankle. So bless her ankle so that's strong and powerful. So she goes, Dad, she's going to be dropped off soon too. She's going to kill me. But she goes, Dad, I don't like school. And I was like, okay. Why don't you like school? She goes, because they don't teach you how to follow your dreams. They teach you how to follow somebody else's. Chills. So true, right? You have a dream in you. You're a Godfulness person. God planted something in you and wants you to bring that to this world. And it's not going to let you get away with it. It's not going to let you die until you do it. You can't be a curmudgeon and sit on your TV, sit on your couch and watch TV and go, I'm comfortable, I don't have to do anything. God will push your butt up and have you go do it. And sometimes he'll use your partner to do it. And sometimes he'll use family members to do it. And sometimes, but you'll be used. If you're not doing it, you'll be pushed. Trust me. My push was I choked on a chicken bone because I wasn't ready to listen. I was being stubborn. Don't be stubborn. Be you. Be love. Be beautiful. Be Godfulness. Amen? Amen. Amen.